What is up, everyone? How are you all doing this evening? Hopefully you're doing well. I have a tasty beverage in queue right now. So let's give everyone just a couple minutes here to get logged in, to get comfortable, and get ready to enjoy some stellar goodness for you. Now, real quick, if someone out there could do two things for me. The first thing is, how is the sound with the mic? The second is, can you hear the fans going in the background? Let me know if the fans are there, or if the fans are too loud, I can shut them down. I'd like to keep them on because I was painting today and it does kind of smell. So we got Twitch Radio saying, hanging in there. What's up, Twitch? How's it going? And we got Cam Bigelli. Hey, Klaus. What's up, Cam? How are you doing? We got Wigbusta chiming in. What's up? How's it going, Wigbusta? Can you guys hear me all right? And is the fan over here too much? Let me know. Hopefully it's not too bad. And the virtual unknown is here too. Sounds good. No fans. All right. Awesome. I am so glad. Now, hold on. Let's go ASMR on everyone. Yeah, buddy. That come in nice and clear, hopefully. All right. What's up, Simon? How's it going? All right. Just give me a few moments here. I just got done with dinner late, so sorry about that. Twitch Radio says, sounds good, and yes, your biggest fan is there, but not bad. Cannot hear the fan, and Woo is excited as my high school boys team just won the state semifinals to make it to the state finals. What sport is that, War Galley? Is that, what would they be playing now for team sports? You've got team tennis, you've got team baseball, track and field. What do we got? And sup, Simon, how is everyone doing tonight? I've got a couple really cool topics I want to talk to you guys about. Some of them are going to be a little off the wall, just throwing it out there. You know what I mean? Just throwing it out there. All right, and we got Mr. MP69 saying the sound is good coming from London. But I've got some really cool stuff for you. Oh, it's in basketball. Oh, yeah, I could say, I'm sorry, I'm in South Carolina, like, it's warm here. So, like, for me, I'm thinking, like, springtime sports, like the school season's already over. But we got some really cool stuff for you, all right? So the first thing I wanted to talk about, all right, is I want to talk about this Grayscale smart contract fund for Ethereum competitors, all right? Let's talk about this real quick because I think there's something hidden in this that a lot of people missed out on. And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of you guys watched the video, had 1,400 views, so thank you very much for the support on that. But there's something weird about this, all right? Now, I'll get caught up with the comments here in a second. Let me just, oh, yeah, Meparatus. Guess what I just did? And I was talking to Wigbuster about this. I just cleared Sundial for 40% today. Nasty. So Meparatus is talking about cannabis stocks. And, dude, I killed it on Sundial today. I totally killed it on Sundial. And the best part is my wife got into it too, and she made some cool cash off of that. So yes, Meparatus, it was super awesome to see the MJ stocks rolling today. And after hours, by the way, was really cool for that. And greetings from Toronto, greetings from South Carolina. All right, let me get into this quick before I get distracted. I'll get back to the comments here real quick. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about Grayscale launches smart contract fund for Ethereum competitors. All right, I want you to listen to just a few concepts in this article, all right? Now, you got to remember, let's put this in perspective. Grayscale, all right, is the biggest, yes, the biggest one out there in terms of digital asset holding, okay? So, you know, as a firm, right, as a company. So think about this. They're the leaders, all right? Just think of this. They are the leaders. They are the pinnacle of what we have been doing with crypto. So now check this out. Grayscale launches a specific smart contract fund. Here are the tokens they have in it. ADA, Solana, AVAX, Matic, Algo, XLM, okay? But give me, just hear me out here. And we got Marquise chiming in. What's up, Marquise? How is it going? And so here, check this out. Just listen to this. Grayscale launches a smart contract fund for Ethereum competitors. So now we've got a couple things to think about. Number one, why is Grayscale launching a fund where in the name of the fund, straight up, this is what's so weird about this. The name of the fund is GSCPXE, all right? In the name of the fund, they say this is without Ethereum, sans Ethereum, X Ethereum, all right? That's the name of the fund. The name of the fund has no Ethereum in it. Think about this. Think of products out there, right? I only could come up with one today. But what other products out there where the name of the product tells you it's not a product, right? Think about it. They're telling you that this product is not Ethereum. It's kind of weird that they would go out and say that on a product publicly. The one I came up with, I can't believe it's not butter, right? That's the only other product I could think about where the name of the product is actually what it's not. That's what this is right here. So that's one thing that kind of caught my attention, all right? Is why are they leaving out Ethereum? Right? Grayscale knows a lot more than we do. Grayscale is way more connected to the cryptoverse than any of us are here. So why is it, though, that they left out Ethereum? I mean, we could always think of gas fees. There's scalability issues with Ethereum. Throughput on Ethereum is just garbage. So, I mean, I could totally see that being some of the reasons. But think about that, though. They actually named their fund the Smart Contract Platform X Ethereum Fund. They're basically saying we do not have... Yeah, exactly. I can't believe it's not Buterin. Exactly. That's my whole point. It's such a weird name. Now, here's the other weird thing about that, all right? So now this whole thing, all right, just listen to this. Digital asset manager Grayscale has unveiled a new cryptocurrency fund dedicated, listen, to smart contract platforms excluding Ethereum, blah, 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 underscoring growing investor appetite for alternative blockchain networks. So one of the items that is on here is Stellar. Stellar doesn't even have smart contracts. So here's the weird thing about this. You got Grayscale, the biggest crypto one out there, okay? Saying that they have a fund that is without Ethereum. All right. And now they have Stellar, which doesn't even have smart contracts. So there's two things in this fund that don't line up, you know, kind of 100% right here. And that's really, really caught my attention. I mean, it is. So now here's the thing, okay? And maybe this is kind of what they're talking about here. The DeFi industry is becoming a more level playing field. Currently, Ethereum accounts for just over 55.4% of the value locked on DeFi protocols, down from over 96% in January 2021. So maybe that's what it is. I just saw the Virtual Unknowns comment. And what's up, the Virtual Unknown? Did you upload today? And did anyone check out Virtual Unknown's channel? We might do that later today. We might do that. But think about that. Virtual Unknown has right. Some people think that Bitcoin and Ethereum won't last. I was talking to Wigbuster about this exact thing today. We're talking about why Grayscale is saying, hey, this is without Ethereum. And we know Ethereum is a big dog in the party. All right. And I get it. So I'm looking at the comments now, you know. Wigbuster chiming in saying Bitcoin and Ethereum is going to go away. We've got Virtual Unknown saying, hey, it's too expensive to use. Yeah, you guys, seriously. There are two big things in here. Number one, Stellar does not have smart contracts yet, but yet it's in a smart contract fund. That's kind of weird. It's kind of like saying, hey, I've got a gold fund, but in this gold fund, I have a silver company. They're planning on getting gold, but they're a silver company. That's kind of weird. So just kind of throwing stuff out there. And Cam says, weren't smart contracts functionally recently added to the XLM blockchain? No, what happened, Cam, was they came out with an announcement about, maybe a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months even, saying something how, and it was the guy with the glasses, the really good guy who was the moderator for Meridian 2021, Justin came out, and he was basically saying how they want to get the community involved when it comes to building smart contracts, all right? See what I mean? So that's, sorry, I'm starting to wheeze a little bit here. So with that being said, right, with smart contracts, they don't have it yet. They want it to be done with the community. They want the community to get into it, you know what I mean? And they want the community to be a part of smart contracts. So no, they do not have smart contracts yet. So yes, Stellar does not have smart contracts, right? Huge problem for this fund. I'm not saying in general. And the other thing is, this is without Ethereum. It just something I thought I would just share with everyone out there. This was something that just really, really caught my attention. All right. And the reason why is because you got to think with everything that's going on right now with crypto, You want to make sure, right? Because you got to think the SEC hasn't jumped in yet too hard, right? They're going after some people. Let's be real here. We are seeing the rumblings. The SEC is going after some people. But what we're seeing here with this is that now we have, Grayscale, the big dog out there, an anti-Ethereum fund. And on top of it, they've got Stellar added to their fund. And Stellar doesn't even have smart contracts. Kind of weird. Let's get caught up in the comments. You guys let me know, what do you think about that? Why did they say it's without Ethereum? And why did they add Stellar even though Stellar doesn't have smart contracts yet? Let me know in the comments. I am going to get caught up here with the chat. So we got a bunch of people hanging out with us today. Let's see. Twitch Radio says, I thought XLM would have been higher up on the list weight-wise by Grayscale. Got to admit, I was a little disappointed in that, but I'm still holding on strong. So what Twitch is talking about right now is, I've got it up on the screen. These are the percentages right here, highlighted in blue, that are for the holdings of Grayscale. Now, Twitch, let's put this in perspective, all right? When it comes to smart contracts, I don't mind. And here's why I don't mind Stellar right now being the low man on the totem pole, because they don't have smart contracts yet. So think, if this was a smart contract-based fund, why would you have someone who doesn't have smart contracts, A, even on there? I'm just glad they're on there. I'm just being real with everyone. But B, if you're going to add them, you would want them at a smaller portion because they don't have smart contracts yet. Not that I want to say it's like misleading advertising, but seriously, if you know you're in a space right now that the SEC is just licking their chops, waiting just to take someone to Pound Town and make an example out of them, you would want to make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's, and especially, hey, my fund is a smart contract platform with a product that doesn't have smart contracts. So just throw that out there. Just simmer on that a little bit, all right? Let me give you something else to think about. Rhode Island is neither a road nor an island. There you go. Little Mike Myers there for you. All right, so Virtual Known says it's gas fees. Ah, interesting. Twitch Radio says, I thought it was to be a hedge against Ethereum, being that they didn't have enough exposure to that space, so they made this new profile, or whatever you call it. And the thing is, Twitch, they have quite a few profiles, too. They've got the Bitcoin Trust. They have a huge portfolio of stuff. So it's very interesting to see how this happens. Let's see. Virtual says it was working on it. It's sick. Yes, Virtual Unknown. And Jack Taylor just said what I was wondering. All right? Jack Taylor says, and everyone out there, Virtual Unknown, who's joining us right now in the chats, has his own channel. Make sure you go on there and check out Virtual Unknown's channel. Go to the Virtual Unknown and check that out. But real quick, Jack Taylor says, known Ethereum as a Russian crypto. And that's kind of what I was wondering if anyone here was going to jump in on. Right? Is there some politics, right? Is there something going on? Okay. This was something I was talking about earlier, was the dirty cryptos, okay? Think of all the scams out there. Think of all the rug pulls, a huge chunk of them, what, BNB, Ethereum? I mean, let's just be real here, okay? A bunch of, is that maybe why? Do they want to get out of like that dirty look? Because remember, Ethereum and Bitcoin both have this, I don't want to say seedy or shady, because that's maybe a little extreme, but let's put it this way. If you and I were to transact something that, let's say, is not legal, we would probably use Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, right? I don't think we'd be using Stellar. Just throwing it out there. All right, well, I don't know. Maybe we would if we didn't want to pay the gas fees and we knew no one was looking. But I think that's the problem. The problem is you have so much that is happening on Ethereum. There is so much. OpenSea just had another hack. I mean, think about it. I think they had 20 NFTs or something like that hacked on there. So the stuff's happening. All right, definitely stuff's happening. Simon chimes in, end of the year for Stellar smart contracts. And you know what I'm thinking, Simon? Stellar's got this weird thing where on their, their roadmap, they always knock out their roadmap early. All right, and this is smart contracts they've got up on their roadmap for this year. I could honestly see them late third quarter. And here's why. The reason I could see them launching it late third quarter is to give them time for ISO rollout. Okay, and I know the two aren't kind of totally connected to each other, but the thing is, you would want as much utility as possible going forward. And having ISO 20022 and smart contracts would only bolster the coin stability going forward. Twitch Radio says they know something that we don't. And Simon says, yep, that is probably true. Stellar has a plan to work on smart contracts. Yep. Their plan was yeah. And Simon says it, Russia, right? I'm sorry, I'm reading your comments. You guys are pretty good. We'd use Zcash. Yeah, if we were going to transact some nefarious activities, we'll use Zcash. But no, I mean, it's something where, so they either know something, right, saying, hey, that someone is developing Stellar. But here's the whole thing, though. When Stellar was talking about developing it with smart contracts, they really sold it as getting together with the community, getting the whole community involved with it. And I think that's kind of what's making me wonder about this, is that I haven't heard anything yet. And it was Justin that did the video on smart contracts, by the way. It was a really, really neat video. He's got like a real cool study room in his house. It's really, really neat. Back to the comments, Simon's chiming in, Russia. And that's kind of what I'm thinking, guys. I'm really thinking that what's happening here is that there's more going on, right? That just like those global financial elites know. Okay, because think about it. If you're Grayscale, you are not going to stick your neck out that far unless you know what you're doing, especially in the crypto sphere. And here's why, okay? And let's take a quick drink and cheers, everyone, real quick here. And here's why I think, yes, 40,000 foot view. I like that. Here's why I want you guys to think about Grayscale, and maybe they know more than seriously what they're leading on. So thank you guys for putting that in the chat. I'm going to read this to you, and I want you to tell me how much your ass would pucker up on this, okay? Because we always talk about like crypto holdings and how much stuff hurts, right? Think about this. Let's pretend, all right, you're like the CFO for Grayscale. Hear me out, okay? Listen to this. I'm going to read this for you. So Grayscale must know something, all right? So just listen. Grayscale is by far the world's largest digital asset manager with over 36 billion assets under management in March 22nd. Think, that's 36 billion in March 22nd. They were north of 60 billion in November 2021. So think about that. They've almost lost 50% of their assets under management. All right, so if you think we've got some pain train days where we're like, oh my God, I'm down by this amount, imagine being down by some $24 billion right there. So when they start listing stuff like with these trusts, all right, and with their funds and so forth, okay, it makes me wonder if they know something new. But remember though, Grayscale was also one of the companies that was bullishly buying during the crypto run-up. And let me put that in here real quick because I wanna reference that. When we saw the run-up with Stellar, and let's blow this out to the year, Grayscale was going hot and heavy all in this time period right here. I did tons of videos as Grayscale was buying, building more and more funds and stuff like that. They were going hard in the paint. They really, really were. And so yeah, just something for you guys to think about, okay? It's very interesting to see that Grayscale is doing this, all right? Very, very interesting to see. They must know something. So now we have to start asking ourselves something, okay? Are we at the bottom right now? Just think about what's going on right now. Let's just talk Stellar history, okay? Recently, Stellar has gone down as the volatility of the world has gone up, okay? So we kind of know how people are playing Stellar, right? Volatility goes up, Stellar goes down, right? Safe haven up, Stellar risky asset classes go down. So you have to ask yourself now, if this is the way the market has been trading Stellar, how do you feel about the world going forward in the next few months? Okay? Because think about this. Do you think the world is going to be better off or worse? You got Meparata saying the bottom is definitely in, thinking that the world is going to get better. My concern is this, all right? My concern is that you're going to have ripple effects from Russia that are going to be... Meparatus, good comment, man. I made sick gains today on Sundial. I don't know if you guys saw that. Sundial, I fucking rocked it today, man. Freaking rocked Sundial today. Just totally hammered it today. I was a happy guy. But I want you to think about this. Have we hit a bottom? All right? Have we hit a bottom? Because I want you to think about this. 30% of the world's wheat, grains, sorry about that, grains. 30% of the world's grains, I think it's wheat, come from Russia and Ukraine. Think about that. 1/3. Who is the biggest, I repeat, who is the biggest manufacturer and exporter of fertilizer? You know, fertilizer that grows the food that all of us eat. Fertilizer that grows the hops and barley and, I don't know, whatever kind of stuff they mix in here. Who controls it, right? Who makes the most and who controls it? Russia. So now you're still going to have food prices going up. Think about that, okay? Every farmer in the world, all right, every farmer in the world has at some point in time touched fertilizer that has had Russian ingredients in it. So now some of the things you're going to see. Does anyone know? Remember I told you guys in that last live stream, I said, hey, you know, there was tensions in the Middle East. I even dropped a little hint in the video, and I said, but the news isn't catching it. I don't know if anyone's paid attention to that right now. Because you got to remember, if you keep following the U.S. news cycle or the mainstream news cycle, you're going to miss out on a lot of cool stories. But check this out. They have had what's known as bread famines in the Middle East and bread protests. If you guys don't know what that is basically people going out on the street saying we are starving to death because A, food is not available, and the food that is available is way too expensive because of inflation costs. This is now before the price of food is going to get rocketed to the moon. Okay, there you go. I said it, guys, to the moon. You guys can, I finally said it, right? Food prices are going to rocket to the moon. Why? Fertilizer coming from Russia. What do you think Russia is going to do? They're going to squeeze the hell out of all of us. That is going to totally jack up the price of food, all right, which is going to cause more global turmoil. How do you win a war? How do you beat a people? You starve them to death. That has been something throughout the course of time. You can ask Twitch Radio about this. When it comes to combat tactics, all right, and stuff that they teach you, squeeze people out. Sun Tzu's Art of War, right? The war is already won before the war is fought. Russia controls fertilizer, wheat, and all that stuff. So think about that. You still have food prices to deal with. We have countries in the Middle East right now that are seeing violent protests because food prices are out of control. Food prices here in the United States are out of control. All right, so that's going to be crazy. It's going to cost a lot of money to send fertilizer to the moon. But that's kind of what I'm saying. So when we talk about the bottom, maybe we're at the bottom right now, but part of me is sitting here thinking, and that's why I have not pulled the trigger big yet. Part of me is sitting here thinking, holy crap, the Russia-Ukraine war just started. Guys, wars last a while. Cold Wars last a long time, and this is what this is shaping up to look like, another Cold War 2.0. So we still have the wheat issue, right, where most of the third of the world's wheat, or 30% I think it is, comes out of Russia and Ukraine. Majority of fertilizer comes out of Russia. Russia now is asking for oil payments. Where's Simon at on here? Russia is asking for its oil payments in rubles because it is having trouble converting currency. So we have that. What if people now, because think, for you guys out there that don't know or that don't ever get into oil and stuff like that, oil trades in US dollars. All the contracts are in USD. All right. Russia now is asking for payments in rubles for their oil. That is a weird one. So when we talk about, like, banking systems on and off ramps, right? Now you guys see what I'm talking about, because this is where you would have to exchange the USD for the rubles for your thing on oil. So you still have Russia sitting here trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do with oil. So if you have now this oil thinking, all right, You're going to have oil pressure now from Russia, which is going to make a weird mess out of the oil market. And honestly, my personal view is that it's going to really drive oil higher. It is, because you're gonna see like a classification of oil. You're gonna see just a total political classification of it. Totally nuts. You've got food prices we still have to worry about, right? The new food prices, not the prices priced in right now. In the month of February, food costs for some of the stuff was up like 30-40%. So now you have the inflation in the United States and globally that's already high. You're now going to have a short-term inflationary bump from Russia-Ukraine with the food war that's going on, all right? The bread war. Those are some very, very strong things coming out here that can really pump the brakes on the global market. So, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Do I hope that this is the bottom? Yes, trust me. I looking at the calendar or chart, looking at the calendar right now, looking at the chart right now, I'm thinking, you know what? I would love to see March 6th as the bottom. But man, there's just a lot of stuff out there. A lot of stuff out there that's really, in the near-term horizon, guys, it's really making me think this. I'm nervous about this. Just like this head fake right here, I'm nervous about this one because I can't tell you, like, I don't believe that the crypto market is 20 to 30% better than where it was a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I don't see that. I don't see that at all. Simon chimes in, $200 to $300 oil will cause a food shortage. Simon, dude, if we get to that 150 mark, you remember that, dude? When we hit 150, how many years ago? Man, that stopped people from driving at night even. That stopped people from spending money socially, right? Like going to the bars because they were like, dude, I can't pay like $6 for this piece of crap drink if I now have to pay $5-6 for a gallon of gas. So we have some very near-term problems that we have to digest, and that's part of why when I'm looking at this buying wise, I haven't bought a ton yet on this last run down because I'm sitting here going, I know I should average, blah blah blah. I get that, but man, there is just a part of me here that's thinking there is just some Russia stuff. Because think about this, the warfare. And the damage to Russia, besides the loss of troop life, which that is always bad, all right? The biggest damage to Russia is financial. How does Russia fight back? With more financial warfare. All right, did you guys see the report from the White House? Hold on, here we go. Well, let me see if I can find it for you. Joe Biden, White House memo, cyber attack. Let's see if I can find it for you guys. There was, here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Here you go. Statement by President Biden on our nation's cybersecurity. Basically, this goes over, oh crap, we have to prepare ourselves for cyber attacks. Oh, see what I mean? I mean, this is crazy. I mean, this is totally crazy. So if we're inflicting, right, heavy financial damage on Russia, right? We always talk about like the oligarchs. Well, I mean, we don't here, but you know, all the other news channels like to use the buzzword. But all those guys, all their yachts are getting impounded. Oh my God! Thank you, Simon. Jesus, you're right. China's going to invade Taiwan soon. That's exactly my point. So when we're talking about all of this, right? When we're talking about this crypto bottom right here. You got to remember, crypto is the most riskiest asset class out there, which means it's the first class to dump when global turmoil happens. That's right, China invading Taiwan, and then the U.S. has to pick what to do. Think about it. That's what Russia's doing right now. Russia's like, hey, come on, U.S., you got to do something. I mean, if they drag the United States more into this, or now you got to remember this. NATO, Russia, right? NATO is now getting closer and closer, building up more troops in Poland, right? To stop the advancement even further. What does Russia do? Adds more troops. What does NATO do? Add more troops. You see, until something crazy happens, we're not going to de-escalate. We're not going to de-escalate at all. So that is why right now, I still don't think this is crypto's time to shine. I really don't. I just don't believe. And I'm not being negative. I'm not being bearish. It's nothing like that. I just think there's too many negative things right now going on to the world before I can even worry about my averages. Seriously, I really do. And that's my own personal opinion. Y'all can do what you want. And Australia is worried. Is what, Simon? If you could just chime in, what is their biggest fear right now? About being dragged into this too, because I'm very interested in hearing that. So if you don't mind, Simon, sharing that with us, and I'll read the comments out. So Cam says, once JCPOA is ratified again, Iranian oil will be added to the global oil supply and hopefully keep the oil price in check. But is that enough? And that's the whole thing. Like, let's be real here. All right. The reason why oil prices are going up, this is not a supply and demand metric the way that we are thinking. All right. That is not what is going on right now. Think about it. We still don't have full travel. We don't have all the ships going around. We don't have all the planes going around. People aren't driving as much. You still have people that stay home with Rona. You still have countries that are suppressing people, right, with their movement. So, no, the demand isn't there yet. I mean, production was cut back quite a bit, but the demand's, it's just not there yet. We're not ramping up yet. Think of jet fuel. Planes aren't flying at full capacity. Airports around here are only at like 40, 50%. Oh, yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, China wants the energy, iron ore, minerals, rare earth minerals. And that's exactly part of the problem is China's made the investments in Africa already. China's bought a whole bunch of gold and diamond mines out there in Africa. They have been one of the biggest buyers of foreign mines, all right? So I could easily see that. We could easily see that. I'm trying to think of the phrase we were taught in school, imperialism, right? I think we're kind of going back to this weird phase of imperialism. And with imperialism, you're going to have turmoil after turmoil after turmoil. Your risky asset classes are going to really, really need some positive shit to move the price. That's just telling it how it is. Twitch Radio says, yeah, my brother-in-law's in the National Guard, and he just got back from Poland. But on his way out, 10 times the people replaced them and his units. Yeah, and that's the whole thing is you got to remember, Russia and the United States, when all of this was going on, they were both big proponents of what is known as MAD, mutual assured destruction. And that's kind of how the Middle East did a lot of their wars as well, too, was they always wanted to lure you in, right? They lure you in, then it gives them a reason to do more. They give a reason to do more, now you do. And essentially, mutually assured destruction is you have enough weapons to blow everyone else up 10 times over. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. All right, let's get back to the comments. Simon says, the U.S. no longer protecting the allies is problems. Yes, that is what happens when you have a very soft global foreign policy. It is not a political thing, but let's be real here. The world has gone crazy. Oh, and that's right. Simon's got it. BRICS countries moving off the U.S. petrodollar. Simon, did you ever get a confirmation on if they were going to do that? You got Mr. Office. Oh, I like that name. Mr. Office Cereal. I like that. Don't forget China's riverfront property along the Nile for H2O and farmland. Yes, and let's also tie Nestle into there, right? Nestle is a piece of crap company trying to... What is it? Water should not be free? No, everyone should pay for water, according to Nestle. Horrible. Cam's chiming in. COVID could still cause some issues. Yes. Wait, I got another one for you. Do you guys remember when we first went into the pandemic lockdown? Do you remember, I don't know, it had to have been maybe the next year spring. So we had to be talking spring of 2021. I watched a program and it was talking about like the barrier reef and where they shot that movie, The Beach, with Leonardo DiCaprio in Thailand, two different areas. But they were both saying how those places were starting to repair, that the reef was starting to repair, the beaches looked better, the fish populations were coming back. Because we weren't out and active, the earth was able to repair. You guys do know that your climate friends out there are calling for a lockdown to repair the earth. Don't get me wrong, it's on the way, like, lower down part of the priority list, but there are already calls to lock down the earth to save the environment because we saw the positive effect it had on the environment when we went into lockdown, right? When we weren't out there in the cars and the boats and the planes and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I really do. I think we got a lot more that we have to deal with right now coming up in the near future. I really, really do. I think that all this global turmoil is just crazy. Let's see. Twitch Radio says there's no confirmation exactly other than certain countries coming out and saying that they're going to be looking at alternatives to the BRICS system. Yeah, and that's the whole thing is what is going to happen. All right? I mean, because think about this, okay? Oil is still roasting. Let's just bring oil up super quick here because you got to remember, okay? Stellar is a risky asset class. Risky. Oil, gold, safe haven assets, that's over on this side, okay? Turmoil takes this down. Turmoil brings this up, okay? Let's just look at oil quick. You have to ask yourselves the same thing. Oil had a real sharp correction, and then look what happened. When that market reopened back up on the 16th, boom. In 1 week, we went from $95 up to $115, back down to $112. Wow. So yeah, the world is trading, and they're trading quick, by the way. By the way, yes, they are trading quick. These moves that we're seeing all over the place are happening very, very fast. Kind of like this one. Yeah. But no, I do. I think we have a lot to worry about. I think we have a lot to be concerned about globally. Now, that being said, Stellar, right? Stellar as, hold on, guys. I can do this. Hold on. Stellar. Yeah, there we go. Fix my hair. Now, Stellar, all right, they are still developing, and they are still growing. In fact, we're seeing more projects from Stellar launch. In fact, I just did this one here where now we're learning that not only is Stellar working with MoneyGram, but they have now brought in another partner to now ramp up efforts on fintech startups. So now you have Stellar still building. And in fact, we have an update from the Ukraine situation, all right? Ukraine CBDC is still going, all right? Despite the war and conflict with Russia, boom, Ukraine CBDC is progressing during wartime. Let's see. Twitch Radio says XLM and XRP and Algo are the only three I've heard them chatting about, but that could just be my personal bias getting in the way. Cam says, Dr. Fauci mentioned the pandemic has likely ended and we will be in an endemic now. Annual COVID shots may be the future. Not on my watch. I will not be getting an annual COVID shot because I annually... No, I'm not going to say that. That was a bad... I was going to make a bad joke right there. No, I just... It's not something I believe into. Mike Stu says, as long as I can get beers, I'm okay. Which, by the way, let me have a little bit more of this. So, yeah. Twitch says view tech company stocks. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying, Twitch. I got you. No, I'm talk to text, dude, man. You're trying to work through it, dude. I get it. And Meparata says Stellar has the best team, to be honest. Do you guys know that Stellar expanded their team? I don't know. Has anyone out there, before I talk about this, has anyone out there heard about Stellar expanding their team? Anyone out there? Because they did. They hired 2 new people. And I got to find where it is. I've been seeing it now for a while. Give me a second here. They hired 2 new people. They're strategic hires, which are very important because they are going to have specific tasks in relation with Stellar's future in mind. So if I find it, I'll find it and I'll share it with you guys. JW says NCAA tournament or XLM info. I mean, you could do both if you want. I mean, you could really do both. It's just I really do. I'm just kind of wondering right now with all the stuff that we talked about, and I think you know what, like, what. I don't know. I'm sorry. Like I'm thinking about it more and more because I'm reading your guys' comments and I'm really kind of sitting here thinking, gosh, you guys, are we really out of this yet? I mean, are we really getting out of this stuff yet? I mean, is the worst over? I guess I just don't know. Oh, it was Danelle Dixon's page. Thank you for that. I knew I saw it somewhere. I just didn't see Danelle Dixon. I just had her. Here we go. So yeah, let's talk about that. All right. Okay, here we go. Danelle Dixon. Let's see if I can find it super fast. Hold on, guys. Trying to find this. Saying out matching fund. Oh, it's got to be somewhere in here. Where the hell is it, you guys? Where the hell is it? Well, anyways, they hired 2 new people, and I'm trying to find it on here. I don't want to I don't want to miss out on it. Maybe I'll do a story about it or something like that. But either way, Protocol 19. Ooh, wait. Did you just say Protocol 19? Is that what you were talking about earlier, Wigbuster? Was Protocol 19? Twitch Radio says, Klaus, if you ever talk to Stellar, you got to tell me that you know a dove that wants to be on the team. No, I know. No, I know a dude that wants to be on Stellar's team. So no, I'm totally with you on that. But yeah, I am. I'm wondering if we're on the bottom, right? I am. I'm wondering if we really are on the bottom. Yeah, Simon. The thing is, there's a guy from Stellar that follows us on here, and it's in my comments. I'll have to find it. And I'll have to put it on. Maybe I'll do a story about it. Let me make a note. I'll do that. I'll do a story because I think a lot of people missed it. I'll do a story on Stellar strategic hire. So let me just make a quick note, everyone. Stellar strategic hire. And while we do that, let's all wet our palates here real quick. And Mike, you're setting me up, man. Mike, I just saw Mike Stew set me up. Mike Stew chimes in. Going to love this one. If Stellar spent more promoting all the good stuff they're doing online, would the price rise like XRP ADA? I'm glad you said that, Mike. Let me ask you this, all right? Doge and Shiba Inu have had more publicity than any other crypto I can think of. Okay, just hear me out. Doge and Shiba Inu, okay, have had the most publicity out of all the cryptos, and it has not, I repeat, it has not helped their price. Check it out. So you got XLM right here, and you got SHIB right here, all right? And let's do this. Let's go to SHIB. Let's compare this to XLM, just so you guys can see what the F word I am talking about. Let's see here. Let's make this a thick blue line. All right, so let's go in here. So you can see they look nearly identical. So I've got a really good example. So for Mike Stew, if Stellar spent more promoting all the good stuff they're doing online and to the public, would the price rise? My answer would be no. And here's why. Because Shiba Inu up on the screen is performing just like XLM. One has a crap load of marketing, the other doesn't. So I mean, I don't think that it's going to matter. I don't think that it's going to matter at all. Let me see here. Sorry, I'm just kind of screwing around here real quick. But yeah, that's why I don't think it's going to matter. I really don't, guys. I don't think that you're going to see the marketing make the difference. All right, it's because what's happening right now is they're all trading in a bundle, and they're trading in a bundle off of Bitcoin. Because, sorry, I'm starting to wheeze again. Let's add Bitcoin to the mix, and let's make Bitcoin a funky color. Let's make Bitcoin green. See what I mean? Like, they're all pretty similar. You know? I mean, I don't know, guys. I mean, would advertising, I mean... And so, yeah, Miguel Santos, thank you for chiming in on that. Miguel says, yes, Doge and Shiba have nothing to promote. XLM has a lot to promote. See, and the thing is, though, is that you see Doge putting all this money in, and I'll get Bitcoin out of here real quick. Doge and SHIB putting all this money in, but what is it doing? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is it doing? It's not doing anything. So I look at Stellar here, and I look at Stellar having a very similar line, all right, to SHIB right here, and I'm thinking, oh. And JW says, doesn't Stellar dump unload coins to depress the price? I am glad you asked that. Stellar does use coins. They do. You can go in the circulating supply here, which is found on Stellar Expert. Stellar does use coins. They don't dump them per se, but what they do is they use these coins to fund their operations and to fund their projects. If you look at this circulating supply, all right, and the circulating supply is in blue on here, they use those funds to pay for their activities. You got to remember, though, Stellar does not generate any income right now. Because I've got a really creepy, weird stat for you. Stellar does not generate any. How would they generate income? They're not making it on gas fees, right? Right? They're not. So they're using all the money that's locked up in Lumens in all those various wallets that we show on this channel. They're using that to pay for their project. So JW says, doesn't Stellar dump unload coins to depress the price? No, they don't do it to depress. They do it to pay for their activities. Because you got to think, where does Stellar get their money from? They get their money from their coins, right? That's not in their circulating supply. It's the ones that are outside of the circulating supply that they then use and put in the circulating supply. But now I've got a weird concept for everyone here. All right. Who wants to talk about nefarious activities? All right. Who wants to break the Stellar chain or at least make some money illegally? Let's do it. We talked about BNB. We talked about using Ethereum, Venmo, Zcash to do some nefarious stuff. How about you guys? How about we do some math? You guys want to see something really cool? Okay. I want you guys to think about something right here. You guys are going to love this, okay? Let's get down and dirty with some illegal activities. Now remember, this is all speculative. I'm telling people don't do this. I'm just saying you can if you want to, all right? You can if you want to, but don't. Don't, all right? I want you to look at something right now. I want you to look at this orange section right here, this ledger performance section, okay? And I want you to look at the 1 month section, okay? If I go to the 1 month section, it has every day on here, right, over the last, whatever, 28, 30 days. I don't know what the hell they pick. They pick whatever, okay? All right? Yeah, no, Twitch, you are allowed to talk about nefarious activities, but it has to be in role-playing scenarios. But think about this, Twitch, you're actually the right guy for this, so you might want to listen in. Let's look at the transactions. 10 million to 9.6 million. This one was 9.5. Let's just pretend. Hear me out here, all right, guys? Let's just pretend that the average daily transactions are 10 million transactions. I'm going to write this down because we're going to do some nefarious activities together. I've already taught people about money tumbling and money laundering. Let's show people how to manipulate blockchains. And again, you can't manipulate it because there's no law about it yet. So technically, it's really not illegal, but I bet you it really is illegal in one way or the other. But let's just pretend Stellar, 10 million transactions a day, okay? And this is going to open your eyes up to a big picture, okay? So 10 million transactions a day. Does anyone know how much it costs to run one of those transactions? 0.00001 lumens, right? Right? Okay, we're all good with that, right? Every transaction that happens, right, in on the ledger performance, every transaction that happens requires a base fee, all right? And I have it right here, an operation fee, just so you guys know I'm not kidding, 0.00001 lumens, okay? So I want you to take that 0.00001 lumens, all right? And remember, we can't do this. We're going to role play that we do this, okay? So now I want you to take that and I want you to multiply it times how much each lumen is. This is going to freak you guys out. 21.4 cents. Let's just use US dollars because that's the country I live in. So we want to multiply that by 0.214, right? 21 cents. Okay. So each transaction costs 0.000000214. You guys cool with that? You guys awesome with that? All right. So now that is how much each transaction costs in USD. So now obviously you guys see why Stellar is so awesome. It costs next to nothing to move money. Okay, hear me out here. So we want to multiply that number, all right, by 10 million transactions. And you're like, well, Klaus, why do you want to multiply that by 10 million transactions? Well, I want to do that because as you've seen in Stellar, right, if we go to Stellar Expert, they have been averaging about 10 million transactions a day, roughly. Well, how could we, don't do this, how could we raise the price of Stellar without costing a lot of money? Well, I'm going to show you exactly how. Again, don't do this. This is just something out there for people to think about. And I'm going to tie it in, don't worry. So 10 million transactions a day. I've got my trusty calculator. I'm going to multiply it by how much each transaction costs in US dollars. So every day, hear me out here, every day it costs $21.40 to process 10 million transactions on Stellar. You guys with me so far? Right? 0.0001 lumens times how much it is, 21.4 cents per lumen, times 10 million lumens. It's $21.40 a day for transactions. So, do you think there's someone out there that could maybe, I don't know, build some wallets and some bots? Because think, how much does it cost to open up an account on Stellar? What is it, 3 lumens you need to have or something right now? 2 or 3 lumens. So it costs you what, 40, 60 cents? Right? So far you guys with me on that? So why couldn't we just open up a whole bunch of wallets? It would be really cheap to do. And let's say instead of having Stellar do 10 million transactions a day, which is what we've seen right here, how about we say screw it and we make Stellar do 30 or 40 million transactions a day? Do you think that would catch everyone's attention? How expensive would that be to do? Think, for every 10 million transactions right now, it only costs $21 a day. So if you wanted to artificially inflate how many transactions are on the Stellar network, you would only have to spend $21 for every 10 million transactions. That means if you wanted to overnight triple the amount of transactions on Stellar's chain and bring a whole bunch of news to it and people going, what the F word is going on, it would only cost you $40 a day. Think about that. Think about that. Now, okay, right? $40 a day. How hard would that be if we got 100 of us together? That means if 100 of us were together, and we spent $40 a day, we could do this for a long time without it really costing us much money, couldn't we? What if we got 1,000 of our friends together? $20 a day, we could send this thing to 50+ million transactions a day and bring attention to the network. And it would only cost us $21.40 to double the amount of transactions on the Stellar network right now. What do you think? We could do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Bad. Don't do it. But my whole point behind this was to tell everyone, number one, it is obviously super, super cheap to use Stellar, right? 10 million transactions a day, $21.40. So the points I wanted to make with this is obviously Stellar is not generating income from lumens, right? From gas fees. Obviously they're not. It's locked in the fee pool. Even if it wasn't locked in the fee pool, they're only generating $21 a day in that gas fee revenue. That being said, if we wanted to say, take this Stellar chain and take this little line here and put it way above my monitor, way up here, it would only cost us an extra $21 a day to add 10 million transactions, because you wouldn't be losing any of the money because you would be sending it back and forth to each other. You would only have to pay the transaction fee. For $21 a day, we could get 100 of our closest friends together, and we could ramp up hundreds of millions of transactions on Stellar's chain, and it wouldn't cost us more than a couple bucks a day. We would need someone to obviously build a bot like that, a trading bot, a wallet swapping bot, and we would need people that would just open up a wallet, and then we would just start transferring stuff through and through and through. There you go. So, sorry about that. Crypto Ed says, hello from the West Coast of Canada. Hello, Crypto Ed, and I am from South Carolina. All right. Vegan Habibi Justin says, I would like them to raise interest rates a little to see the market drop to get more XLM and XRP. That's the other thing, too. Oh, my gosh. Thank you, Justin. You're right. We now also have that. Not only, we were earlier in the stream, guys, we were talking about all the negative things that are coming into the world. I'm not talking about crypto, but like, you know, the Russia-Ukraine thing, China-Taiwan, the oil problems. Justin's got another good point. We still have to deal with the interest rates coming in. We know that a quarter point's going to happen, but if they drop a 50 point, that will definitely tank the markets. That will definitely tank the markets. So all we have to do is then watch when the Fed meetings are, and we can see if that happens. Twitch Radio chimes in, all right, class, I'll get it done by the end of the day. But now I want you to think about that, okay? The whole illustration when I wanted to talk about this is if you wanted to honestly inflate numbers on a chain like Stellar, it does not cost a lot of money. It does not cost a lot of money. All right? The other thing I want you to think about too is think about it. 10 million transactions only cost $21. Once more companies out there start getting familiar with Stellar and crypto technology, all you have to do is tell them that crazy stat. $21 for 10 million transactions. Man, that is not a lot. That is not a lot at all. So, more food for thought for everyone. Just thought you'd like it. Let's see. Vegan BB Justin says, hey, Klaus, Steven is my good friend. I sent him your stream. Oh, well, I thank you. Thank you for that. Oh, I see. It's Steven Olin saying, hey, what's up, Steven? Eddie is saying, bro, a 50.3 hike is definitely coming. A 50.3 hike in what? Yeah, I just saw. Yeah, Justin, I just saw it. That is very cool. Very cool. Thank you for bringing someone in. We got Stephen Olid hanging out with us, friend of Justin. Well, thank you. Thank you for recommending someone for the stream. Oh, yeah, 50 point. Yeah, that's what Eddie, that's my think. I thought so, too. I seriously thought this last time, Eddie, they would drop a 50-pointer on us, and that would tank the market down. But now the Fed, let's go to FOMC meetings real quick, just so you guys can see what the hell we're talking about. FOMC, I've been on these things all the damn time. All right, these are the dates you got left. You guys ready? April 27th, 28th. These are when the interest rates hikes, okay? And what we're talking about right now is if the Fed already said, hey, we're going quarter point these next 6 meetings. They've already said it. They already said it. Don't argue with me. They already said it. But they said if inflation comes out of control, and remember, we talked about Russia controlling wheat, fertilizer, all that kind of stuff, that's big, okay? That can still have some really big problems, all right? But think about this. April 27th to 28th, that's when we got one interest rate hike coming up. June 15th to 16th, we have another one. July 27th, 28th, September 21st, 22nd, October 1st and 2nd, and December 14th and 15th. Those are the 6 that you have, all right? If at any one of those times, all right, that's why I got my Stellar hat. It's like a rally cap, man. It is. It's like a rally cap, dude. Thank you, Meparatus. That made me laugh, man. I need that kind of stuff every once in a while. But this is something that we are going to have to think about, Eddie. And you're exactly right. A 50-point raise at any of these dates on here would send the crypto market way down. Trigger Bandit says, evening, Klaus. Wanted to say, hey, cannot chat, but interesting topics. Cheers. Well, thank you, Trigger, for hanging out with us. And it's all right if you can't chat. Just remember, don't do what I said. Do not crank up Stellar network productivity by 10 million transactions a day for $21.40. So it's something for all of us to think about, and I think we all have to start exploring these ideas. But it is the Federal Reserve. This is what we have to watch out for. Let's see. Stephen Nolan says, yes, bro, you keep up with the economic ninja and Johnny Bravo. I'm smart. You can say anti-inflation is food, pets, metals, even medical supply, ammo, and guns. Yes. So, tangible assets, Stephen. Tangible assets. I got one for you. I got one for you guys. Who here would have thought ever in their lifetime they would have heard the phrase, you can make money buying a car? Like, seriously, I swear to God. Like, think about that. Used cars now. There are people getting more money for their used cars right now. That is how weird stuff is with inflation. It is that crazy. You're talking the new Ford Broncos going for like 120,000. Like, it's nuts. Inflation is just crazy. Twitch Radio chimes in. Right now, I'll be grateful for a hike in the weather, at least 70. I am hoping I get good weather like that. I'm headed out to Colorado here in a little bit. Mike Stu, I just saw your comment there. I do. I'm hoping like I do decent weather-wise. And so Mike Stu, yeah, Eddie, I actually, you know what, Eddie? I'm actually going more cash now too. If any of my other holdings, I'm not talking about my crypto holdings, but any of like my equities that like I'm not really tied to, my short-term positions, I'm starting to liquidate them once I get to a green point that I like, because I am starting to get heavy cash here. I'm starting to get heavy cash for exactly that reason. I'm going to start planning like a week before these. So for me, it's going to be like April 20th. I'm going to start looking around that date, Eddie, to start seeing if the market starts moving. Mike Stu chimes in. Mike Stu says, Klaus, watch your other channel last night, the fishing and cooking in the dark. Food looked amazing. Watch out for the cops. For those of you that did not know this, I did. I set up a second channel. I'm really big into like adventures and outdoors and stuff like that. I love hiking. For those that don't know, I actually built a specific car. You're going to love this. I actually built a specific car for this second channel. I kid you not. If you guys want to know like how dedicated I am to this, I have to find search and clips. Let me see if I can find it. Subaru. I kid you guys not. I built this. I specifically bought this car right here, a 2006 Subaru Forester. I specifically bought this car for this channel. And what was really cool about this was, and what Mike Stu was talking about, so my wife and I like to do a lot of stuff. We like to hang out. We're best friends. And we wanted to go fishing this year. And our boat's down in the shore. It's a 4.5-hour drive, so it's too far for us to get to our boat. So we're like, hey, let's do some fishing locally. We wanted to go fishing, and we did go fishing. But as you can see on the screen, the sheriff was there. The sheriff was there watching a wedding. And my wife and I were like, dude, we really want to drink and fish here. Like, so can the sheriff leave? The sheriff stayed there the whole time. We said, F it, drank anyways. So if you're into that kind of stuff right now, let me know, because it is really cool. We have a second channel up there. And if I'm going to call out another person here real quick, because we have another person actually that is chiming in with us right now that has a channel, the Virtual Unknown, you guys. Check out the Virtual Unknown. He's starting a travel channel. Talked to him quite a bit about it. It is really neat. He's learning and working on the cinematography and working on his storyboarding and editing, and he has got some really cool concepts and ideas. So if you ever get a chance, check out the Virtual Unknown. You guys see him often in the chats hanging out with us. He might not be with us right now, but we're going to call him out anyways. JW says, and thank you, Mike, for watching the video. I really do appreciate that. Thank you for watching the video on the other channel. That stuff means a lot to me. Let's see. Twitch Radio says new cars cost too much. Yes, they are hacking up a huge premium on cars. It is nuts. JW, steel and aluminum tariffs hurt vehicle costs. Yes, they do. And the fact that the United States, all right, that the United States did not want to get involved in chip manufacturing, and they're now behind the 8 ball when it comes to chip manufacturing in the world. And now we have how many cars sitting? Millions of cars supposedly sitting that can't be completed. Why? Because we don't have the chips for them. Something to think about. Twitch Radio chimes in. I'm still dollar cost averaging on XRP, XLM, Algo, ADA, gold, silver, and 4 tech stocks and 3 mining stocks. Got in during the last big dump. That is the time right now, and that's kind of what I've been doing. And for those that don't know, like I kind of tackle some of this stuff here on the right. It's in my recently viewed ones. I cleaned house on those MJ stocks, man. I blew the doors off today on MJ stocks. Holy crap, I'm a happy man. I just destroyed it with MJ stocks today. Whoa, was that some tasty action today. And yes, forget the sheriff. Yeah, we did. We actually did. And actually, it was the funny thing. It was my wife that was like, yeah, I think I'll start drinking anyways. So, yeah, really fun stuff. But no, I mean, right now, let's look at Stellar as a whole, okay? Stellar as a whole, what we got to start thinking about is this. More transactions happening on the chain, right? More projects, more partnerships with Stellar, more payment corridors, all right? Remittance corridors. I did a story. Where the hell did I do it? I did this story today. I don't know if how many of you guys caught this story today. I know it's not fair to ask people if they watch stories the same day, but I did a story today on a $34 billion market. Yeah, Stellar is now, all right? Stellar is now involved, all right, with Philippines, an extended project. It was a project they had been involved in for a couple years. They're now expanding it to a place where the remittances are $34 billion a year. At 6.5% of that is charged in fees. Think about that. You're talking, what, 2 billion almost? Right? 2 billion? Yeah, God, almost 2 billion in fees. See, that's where Stellar could come into play. And that's why Stellar is tackling all these. So when you see me doing stories, all right, and you see me doing stories about like this one, the Western Hemisphere Payment Corridor that Stellar's doing, it's because they're developing all these payment rails in the background. Now, these payment rails and all this news is obviously not helping out the price. Let's be real here. Nothing is helping out the price. Nothing is. I don't care, Doge, SHIB, I don't care who you are. The market is moving just with Bitcoin, unless you're kind of one of those, oddballs out, Twitch Radio says, I'm seriously debating on looking into agriculture stocks because I foresee a great famine coming in the near future. Not saying it's a good thing, but yes, thank you, Twitch Radio. That is actually what I'm looking into. I am actually looking into not direct agriculture, but I'm going to be talking about peripheral agriculture. Direct agriculture right now, Twitch, I can guarantee you direct agriculture is probably going to be priced in pretty easily and pretty early. Now, if you can find a chemical manufacturing company that makes the same chemicals that fertilizer does, that Russia does, but they make it in the U.S., that's who I would be looking after. I would be looking after peripheral support for agriculture development. All right, I would be looking at fertilizers. I'd be looking at all that kind of stuff. And think about this. If you don't have a fertilizer, right? Pesticides. Think of pesticides. Think of those weird peripheral things. Not telling you what to do again, just throwing it out there, all right? Ag stocks. You're right. I think, I don't want to say it, but man, I think tech might cool down a little because ag might climb up. If Russia decides to pull the hammer or drop the hammer and really just start screwing around with wheat and fertilizer and stuff like that, we could have a real big problem on our hands, guys. We could have a real big problem on our hands. And what's really, really cool about this is I've been working on this room now that I'm in for like a long time. Yeah, I got you. Like what specifically, Twitch? Ag stocks? Let me know, Twitch. I'll help you out with that. I can definitely help you out. All right, let me see. Mike Stu says, what do you think will ever take over Bitcoin? I honestly don't think it's Ethereum. I really don't. I think Ethereum's days of being big are kind of numbered. The scalability issues are what's going to hold it back. Think about this, okay? I told you guys, remember, if you wanted to do 10 million transactions a day on Stellar, it would only cost you $21. How many would 10 million transactions a day on Ethereum cost you? Put that into play for scalability. See, and that's what you have to think about. Remember, Stellar is going after, and I'm glad you asked that, Stellar is going after these payment corridors in these cash-based societies, right? Latin America, South America, Central America, that corridor right there. You also have the African corridor, right? The payment corridor that goes from Europe to Africa. You also have emerging Asia, Far East, right? Philippines and so forth. They're going after the unbanked and the underbanked. There is no way that people are going to be like, hey, we're going to trade 6.5% in normal remittance fees. We're going to trade that with gas. There's no way. There is no way in hell. So I don't see Ethereum being the one to take over Bitcoin. Now, taking over Bitcoin, price per coin, I don't know. I don't know, because seriously, I mean, even right now, imagine this. Just hear me out, all right? If Bitcoin loses right now 90% of their value, what does it take them to? Like 4,000? At 4,000, I mean, do you really think Bitcoin will be, like, do you really think it'll die? Or do you think there's always going to be those Bitcoiners out there that just kind of want to keep it? Or people that go, oh man, Bitcoin hit 4,000. I remember when it hit to 60, I could 10, 15x my money right now. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if Bitcoin could drop that low to where they're going to be dethroned. But boy, with gas fees and scalability issues, that kind of makes me wonder, man. That really does make me wonder quite a bit. Twitch chimes in, I just want to be first enough to catch whatever is going on now, so it'll pay it off later. Contrarian investing. That's what we're calling it, Twitch. And we're gonna talk about that, all right? Ag stocks, contrarian. I got notes, buddy. Contrarian. All right, cool, awesome. Vegan to BB Justin says XRP will take over Bitcoin. Conspiracy theory. Oh, maybe you're biased, Justin. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Justin's biased because like XRP's his biggest holding. You know, just throwing it out there. All right, cool. So that is what we've been talking about here. We're gonna go till 8:30 tonight so I can hang out with my wonderful wife, Amy. But the big things we wanted to talk about is the lack of Ethereum in love. And in fact, just the opposite. Just the opposite. Grayscale went so far ahead with their smart contract fund that they said, F you Ethereum, we're going to name our fund without Ethereum. Yeah, seriously, their fund is actually called X Ethereum, sans Ethereum. Their fund is called GS, I've got it up on the screen right here, GSCP XE, sans Ethereum, X Ethereum. FedEx, hello from Chile. Sorry I'm late. No, you don't have to ever apologize to me. No worries at all. Because remember, anytime, all right, anytime you guys miss something in this live stream, don't worry. I always put them up in the live stream folder, all right? So if you ever go to it, don't worry, and you miss something, you can always go to the live stream folder. So don't worry. And again, hello from Chile. Hello from South Carolina, FedEx. Brandon Alexander says, question. I'll give you an answer if I can. If a user is required to own one XLM in order to make transactions, how can the price ever go above $1? And I'm glad you asked that. So Brandon, here's how this works, okay? And let's just pull this up on the screen, okay? There is if you go to Stellar Expert, there's this thing right here, this base operation fee, okay? I've got it quasi highlighted because I'm in night mode right now, where it's 0.00001 lumens, okay? They can change all that. So let's put it this way. If, let's say, everyone's like, well, wait a minute, if Stellar goes to $100, okay, how are people going to open up wallets? Because, you know, you need a couple lumens to open up a wallet, blah, blah. They can change all of that. How many lumens it takes to open up a wallet you can change. Their base operation fee you can change. All of that stuff can change. They can change the stroops, you name it. Now, granted, to change it, though, you would have to go through a protocol vote where it would have to be voted on. But they could easily do it. So for Brandon saying, hey, if a user is required to own one XLM in order to make transactions, how can the price go above $1? Because they can always tailor the amount of lumens you need to hold in your wallet at one time, the reserve, and they can always tailor how big the operation or gas fee is for that. Think about that, all right? Twitch Radio chimes in, gotta run, finish up some programming things I have to get done, but you have a great night with the family on. Yes, sir, Twitch. And Twitch, before you go, you and I are gonna one day have to talk about this. I am a huge custom rifle guy. I built my own open F-class rifle. I love to do shooting. So Twitch, if you're into that kind of stuff, because I saw you also, you're into Baofeng. I'm also a Baofeng radio guy. Baofeng, I don't know how the hell I say it. So you and I are going to definitely have to catch up on that. But yeah, fees, like base operation fees, base reserve, all that stuff can be done with a protocol vote. We are at protocol version 18 right now. Brandon Alexander says, I'm afraid that Stellar will become a stable coin, and I don't own enough for that to be life-changing. That's a good point. Let me ask you guys this. How could Stellar even become a stable coin? Think about that. How could they change the market now to make it a stable coin? Think of where Stellar is. This will be our closing point just for everyone to think about. How would that mathematically work? And what would they peg it to? Wig busted disc golf. Wig, are you playing disc golf right now? No way in hell, man. It's dark as hell, dude. Holy crap. Holy crap. And you guys, I don't know if you've seen, I have disc golf basket in my backyard. I do. My brother plays. So we have a disc golf practice basket in here. But yeah, I think that, no, I'm not a ham guy. I'm a Baofeng. That's what I use for my boat. I use Baofeng radios. But anyways, yeah, so when it comes to like the fees, the supply, you know, and all that kind of stuff, right, with being a stable coin, how would they even do that? I guess I just don't know how the math would work. I really don't know how the math would work on that. Let's see. I'll say, yeah, you better not be doing it now, Wig, because, man, it is darker than hell out there. Yeah, my brother and I play. It's a lot of fun, dude. We'll go to courses, get loaded, play. It is so much fun. I love being outside, too, man. That's something we got to do, right? When I travel up East Coast, I'll go hang out with you guys. We'll all play disc golf and get loaded. So Mike Stew, this will be the last question of the night, and then I'm going to hang out with my lovely wife. So let's get this in. Mike Stew says, do you think NFTs are a fad, or will they get bigger? I walked around Decentraland, and there was no one walking around it. Mike Stew, thank you for asking that. Here's something to think about, okay? Here's something to think about. Meta, all right? That metaverse, all right? Yeah, exactly. Time to do a little bit of bake sale, gentlemen. But think about that. Meta, okay? The Facebook, not the Facebook. Yeah, the Facebook one. Jesus Christ, guys. Meta, there's like no one participating in that. NFTs, do I think they're going to be a fad? No. Do I think NFTs are in a bubble right now? Yes. Because I think what's happening is people are using NFTs to take value away from the chain, aka like a Jake Paul, Logan Paul scam, you know, like all the, I just don't get the ape stuff. And I don't get all the NFTs that are used from scams. But just remember, I believe an NFT should add value to the chain. When you put an NFT on the chain, it should not be about you selling that NFT. It should be about you adding something to the chain that always brings value to it. Think about that. So NFTs is a fad? No, I don't think they're a fad, but I do see them in a bubble right now where people are doing NFTs just to raise money. They're doing NFTs for scams, and it's because it's unregulated. It really is. Once the regulation comes in here with NFTs, you're going to see that NFT market kind of make more sense, especially once they get rid of all the scammers and crap out there. Scott Miller says, hey, Klaus, do you think the best way to buy, own Stellar is to cost average? The best way to buy and own Stellar is what you feel comfortable doing, because life changes. You might not need the money today, but you might need it next week. So just be careful with what you invest in and research the crap out of what you invest in. And here's what I always tell anyone. This is how I do it, okay? You guys don't have to do this, but this is how I do it. Whatever I buy over here, I buy the contrarian play right here. Okay? Obviously not at the same time because they're usually juxtaposition of each other. But if I go into crypto, right, and let's say I put a good chunk of money into crypto, I want to balance that out with my safe haven assets. I'm going to balance it out with my gold and silver and all that kind of stuff. You know, that's kind of how I look at it. So what is the best way to do it with Stellar? It's what can you afford, for how long can you afford to be without it? Because that's the one thing we just don't know right now, certainty of time. We just don't know. The market could just explode tomorrow, right? And FOMO could just run this thing up, you know, to the ceiling. You know, where you stack the hundreds to the roof. Or it could be a 2-3 year gradual roll-up. We don't know. So you just have to find out what's comfortable for you. So, all right, guys, we are going to end it right now. Don't worry, we are going to have more live streams. I'm actually going to have a really, really cool video this weekend that I will be sharing. I'm going to be doing some interesting adventure camping. It's going to be pretty messed up, I'm not going to lie. Doing some interesting adventure camping this weekend that I'm going to throw on the other channel. But don't worry, I will be around, so if anything breaks, I will be there to share it with you. So Klaus from Crypto with Klaus, hopefully you enjoyed the show. And remember, just remember, guys, if you missed something in the live stream, go back into the live stream folders, find the date of today, go check it out. And that way you won't have missed anything. So Klaus from Crypto with Klaus, I am going